Earth had come to its end, as if someone had switched it off like a dying game console. The planet was drained of all life, oceans stilled, skies dimmed, and hope was gone. Then an enigmatic being appeared, offering humanity a final solution. People would be sent to other worlds to bring back the spark of life. These chosen heroes were called dispatchers, those who traveled beyond dimensions to save a dying Earth. Among the countless dreamers stood Chansu, a weary young man stuck in a dead-end job. He watched the shining dispatchers on giant screens, his heart filled with envy and longing. But reality struck hard when his boss's voice shouted behind him, "Hey, stop daydreaming and get to work." Chansu snapped back, grabbed his sickle, and began cutting vines faster than anyone else. He couldn't afford to lose another job. Not again. When the work was done, his boss actually praised him, calling him a hard worker. But even praise couldn't fill the emptiness inside. Later that day, Chansu tried to apply for the dispatcher test. He waited in line, clutching his small application card, but when it was his turn, the clerk barely looked at him. "Not enough balance. Come back when you've got the funds." Before Chansu could respond, another man shoved him aside. Rejected and humiliated, he turned and walked away into the crowded streets. As he reached home, old memories came flooding back. His father, once a top-tier returner, had left on a mission and never returned. His mother promised to find him and come back soon, but she never did. Now, even their faces were fading from his mind. He was completely alone. Suddenly, a blinding light ripped through the sky. The explosion threw him to the floor, the walls shaking, glass shattering. His phone buzzed with an alert. Disaster warning. S-Class Returner Eyes Retirement. Chansu stared at the broadcast. A powerful returner appeared on screen, exhausted and broken. "I failed to protect the god," he said. "I lost my comrades. I can't continue." With those words, the man announced his retirement, leaving Earth without its strongest protector. Chansu stood frozen, his thoughts a storm of fear and confusion. If even an S-Class returner could fail, what hope did he have? Then, a soft knock came from the gate outside. He hesitated, heart pounding, and slowly opened the door. There, standing under the dim light, was a rabbit, a small talking rabbit, looking straight at him. "Are you Chansu?" it asked. Chansu could barely speak. "What? What is this?" The rabbit smiled calmly. "Congratulations," it said. "You've been chosen. You are now a dispatcher." For a moment, time itself seemed to stop. Chansu's eyes widened in disbelief as the words echoed in his mind. A dream that once felt unreachable had just become his reality. Chansu pushed with all his strength, trying to force the massive door open, but it wouldn't budge an inch. The rabbit, watching calmly, tilted its head and said, "You do know that door isn't going to open, right?" Then it pointed toward a smaller entrance, a tiny round hole that looked just big enough for the rabbit itself. Chansu blinked in disbelief. "You expect me to fit through that?" The rabbit nodded. "Of course." "Why not?" Frustration flared inside him. "Because I'm human, not a rabbit." He groaned, stepping back, ready to give up. "Forget it. I'm going home." But as he turned, the rabbit's calm voice stopped him. "Are you sure about that?" it asked. "You failed every test before. You were called unfit. Do you really think this opportunity will come again?" Chansu froze. The words pierced through his doubt. He turned around, trembling slightly, realizing the rabbit wasn't just mocking him, it was testing him. The rabbit smiled faintly. "I'm only repeating what you once said yourself. You've already overcome so much to get here. Don't walk away now." With a deep breath, Chansu crouched down and stared at the tiny opening. "This is insane," he muttered, trying to squeeze himself through. His arms and shoulders pressed against the sides painfully as he forced himself in. On the other side, he stumbled into a brightly lit room, surprisingly normal, almost cozy. The rabbit looked at him and chuckled. "What did you expect? A divine temple?" Before Chansu could answer, the rabbit handed him a glowing card. "Welcome to block-type territory capture," it said proudly. This is your new world. Chansu read the card out loud, confused. Block type. Territory capture? What is this supposed to be? The rabbit laughed. You've really never heard of it? It's the trendiest world right now, protected by a god. The word god made Chansu hesitate. He remembered the failed returner on the news, the one who'd lost his god and retired, but the rabbit quickly reassured him. Relax, this isn't connected to that mess. Normally a god is assigned at random, but today, you get to choose. It spread out 3 glowing cards in its paw. Choose wisely, it said. Opportunities like this don't come twice. Chansu stared at the cards nervously. He didn't even know what they meant. Still, he couldn't hesitate forever. Fine, he said. I'll take the middle one. The moment he picked it up, a wave of dark energy exploded. Ghostly figures and skeletons whirled around him. The god of negation. 44%, the rabbit read aloud. Chansu's eyes widened. That sounds awful. The rabbit shrugged. Just special effects. Can I pick again? Chansu pleaded. Sure, the rabbit said casually. He drew another card and froze. The god of negation, again. 45% this time, the rabbit said, amused. Chansu shouted, Is this rigged? The rabbit gave him a sharp look. It's not the cards that are wrong, it's your luck. Swallowing hard, Chansu stared at the final card. Okay, last try. He reached out, trembling, praying for something good. The moment he touched it, a warm light spread through the air. The card glowed green. The goddess of abundance, the rabbit announced. Chansu sighed in relief. Finally, something that doesn't sound cursed. But then his thoughts drifted somewhere inappropriate, and he snickered quietly. The rabbit's expression turned disgusted. What are you thinking, human? That's vile. Nothing, Chansu blurted out, face red. The rabbit shook its head. You're hopeless. Anyway, that's your god, the goddess of abundance. A faint female voice suddenly filled the air. Congratulations, O Chansu. You have been chosen to serve the goddess of abundance. A woman's figure appeared briefly, her face blurred, glowing with divine light, and then vanished. Chansu's heart raced. That was her, the goddess herself. He clenched his fists. All right then, let's do this. The rabbit smiled, opening a shimmering portal in front of him. Then step forward, dispatcher. Your journey begins here. Chansu stared at the swirling darkness. That doesn't look very safe. The rabbit rolled its eyes. It's perfectly fine. It's beautiful. It looks like a black hole, Chansu yelled. Before he could hesitate further, the rabbit gave him a little push. Hey, wait, Chansu shouted as he fell into the portal. The rabbit smirked. See you on the other side, dispatcher. Then a distant, echoing voice spoke from the void. Why did you send him already? The rabbit's smile faded. You know why. I couldn't lose him, too. The voice replied coldly, You're breaking the rules. The rabbit lowered its head. Maybe. But I still believe in my God. And with that, the portal closed, swallowing Chansu whole. At the heart of the swirling portal, Chansu felt himself spinning endlessly. Suddenly, a glowing system window appeared before his eyes. Chansu yelled in frustration, So it's not about luck, it's about power. And you're telling me this now? Before he could react, the light around him shattered. He crashed face first onto dry, cracked ground, surrounded by a lifeless, barren wasteland. He looked around in disbelief. This is the land of the goddess of abundance? He groaned. Where's the abundance? This place looks like it's allergic to life. Another system message blinked to life. Welcome, Apostle of Importance. Your task, claim territory and expand your domain. Chansu frowned. Apostle of Importance? Did they mean abundance? He sighed. Great. My goddess can't even spell right. Still, he knew complaining wouldn't change anything. With a deep breath, he decided to start exploring. All right, time to find this so-called goddess. As he walked, something shiny caught his eye. A rusty sickle half buried in the dirt. He picked it up, twirling it in his hand. Huh, this feels familiar. That's when he felt it, a faint presence behind him. His body froze. A monster? Already? Gripping the sickle tightly, he whispered, I can't die before I even meet her. He spun around, swinging with all his strength, and stopped mid-swing. Behind him wasn't a monster at all, but a tiny trembling hamster. It squeaked in terror, tears welling in its beady eyes. Chansu blinked. You've got to be kidding me. This is the monster? The hamster kept crying, shaking so much it could barely stand. Part of him felt guilty. The other part thought, if I capture it, maybe I'll get points. The hamster wailed even louder as if it understood him. Chansu sighed. Okay, fine. I won't hurt you. He smiled softly. You're way too cute to fight anyway. The little creature sniffled, then turned around and began to scurry off. Chansu called out, Hey, where are you going? The hamster paused, glancing back at him, almost like it was beckoning. You want me to follow you? Chansu asked. The hamster squeaked once and darted away again. Hey, wait up! Chansu shouted, chasing after it through the dry terrain. He stumbled over rocks, gasping for air. You're fast for a furball. After what felt like forever, they stopped beside a shimmering waterfall, the only living thing in this barren world. Chansu knelt down, scooping a handful of water to his lips. It was cold, refreshing, and real. Panting, he looked at the hamster. So, this is your home? The hamster squeaked softly, almost in agreement. Chansu chuckled. Not bad. But tell me, do you know where the goddess of abundance is? The hamster tilted its head, chirping faintly. It didn't understand a word. He sighed. Figures. Cute, but useless. Then, to his surprise, the hamster pointed its tiny paw deeper into the forest, as if signaling him to keep going. Chansu blinked. You're guiding me? The hamster nodded once and dashed ahead again. Chansu grinned, gripping his sickle. All right then, little buddy. Led the way. And for the first time since arriving, he felt it, a faint spark of hope in the desolate world of the goddess of abundance. Chansu followed the tiny hamster deeper into the strange new world, unsure of where it was leading him. After a long walk through the barren land, they stopped before a massive ancient tree, its trunk towering into the clouds. He reached out to touch it, amazed by its size, until he noticed how dry and lifeless it was. The bark crumbled beneath his fingers, just like the trees back on Earth. While examining the roots, his foot hit something soft. He looked down and froze. It was a piece of ginseng, shriveled and gray. What's this doing here? He muttered. The hamster ran to it instantly, crying as it hugged the withered root. Wait, was this your pet? Chansu asked awkwardly, but before he could say more, a system window appeared before his eyes. You have discovered the deity of this area. Chansu's eyes widened. Deity? You mean this dried-up root? The hamster tugged at his pants, squeaking desperately. At first, Chansu thought it wanted comfort, but then he realized the truth. This ginseng is the goddess of abundance? Panic washed over him. No way! A goddess is supposed to be radiant, powerful, alive. He stared at the wilted plant, refusing to believe it. But then, a faint green glow began to shimmer from within the ginseng. He took a step back, heart pounding. No, that can't be her. Yet something inside him knew it was true. He fell to his knees, guilt creeping in. Did I step on her? The hamster squeaked sadly, confirming his fear. Desperate to fix things, Chansu grabbed his water flask. Maybe she's just thirsty. He poured water over the ginseng, hoping it would help. To his relief, the plant began to stir, small movements, a faint pulse of light. "It's working!" he shouted, pouring even more water. But soon a faint voice whispered, "Stop! Too much!" The goddess was drowning. Chansu jumped back, terrified, and the hamster frantically waved its paws. Then, with a soft sigh, the ginseng began to move again. The goddess of abundance had awakened. Chansu knelt before her, trembling. "I'm, oh Chansu, your apostle. I didn't mean to hurt you." The goddess blinked weakly, unable to speak, but clearly aware. Suddenly, a new system message appeared. "Tip, use your skills to grow stronger." "Skills?" Chansu muttered. Two appeared before him. Blessing of abundance and blessing of abundance. Behead. He froze. "Behead?" His eyes darted to the goddess. Why would the goddess of abundance give me something so violent? He scratched his head, muttering, "Does she mean cutting crops? Or cutting people?" His gaze drifted toward the hamster, happily playing by the roots. A dreadful thought entered his mind. He tightened his grip on the sickle. "If it means sacrifice for her, maybe I have to—" The hamster stopped playing, staring at him in fear. Chansu raised the sickle with trembling hands. "I'm sorry, little one. It's for the goddess." But before he could swing, the hamster screamed, and the goddess too. Their eyes widened, staring at something behind him. A low, guttural sound echoed through the air. Chansu turned, and his heart stopped. A shadowy figure emerged, tall, cloaked, its body made of rippling darkness. Dozens of glowing white eyes blinked from within its hood, and golden lightning symbols crackled across its form. Its skeletal fingers reached out toward him. The ground shook. Mist swirled around its feet. Death itself had taken shape before him. Chansu's instincts screamed, "Run!" But something inside him snapped. "No!" he growled. "This time I fight." He clenched his sickle, a system message flashing. "Skill available. Decapitation." He charged forward, leaping through the fog. The creature screeched as Chansu brought the sickle down with all his strength. A blinding flash, and then silence. The monster's body split in two, dissolving into ash. Breathing hard, Chansu turned to the goddess and the hamster. "Are you both okay?" They looked stunned, and then to his surprise, the hamster gave him a tiny thumbs up. Chansu smiled weakly. "Thanks, little guy." He knelt beside the ginseng and bowed his head. "I'm sorry for doubting you, my goddess." A warm light surrounded her, her withered body now glowing faintly, restored bit by bit. A new message appeared. Immortal Oni Hunt, one of 222. Tribute transferred to the goddess. Chansu's eyes widened. "That thing was an Oni, and I actually killed it?" He looked back at the goddess, her form now brighter, her skin smoother, alive once more. A small smile spread across his face. "At this rate," he said softly, "you'll shine again soon, my goddess of abundance." Chansu gazed at the glowing ginseng, the goddess of abundance, now brighter and livelier than ever. A spark of hope lit in his chest. "At this rate," he said, "you'll regain your true form soon." With his tiny companion Hamdal hopping beside him, Chansu marched into the wilderness again, determined to hunt more monsters and gather tributes for his goddess. The ground trembled as he reached a new area swarming with mud-like immortal Oni. A system alert flashed. Points earned can be used for world features. Trading disabled. Chansu blinked. "Wait, I've been earning points this whole time?" He laughed, gripping his sickle. "Well, time to earn more." The system flared. Skill activated. Decapitation. He charged into battle, cutting through the sluggish creatures one after another. Each swing of his sickle echoed through the air as the monsters fell apart like clay dolls. System windows popped up non-stop. Immortal Oni Hunt +1. Fueled by adrenaline, Chansu shouted, "Let's make it 100!" Before long, every Oni in the area lay defeated. Hamdal cheered and patted Chansu's cheek with its tiny paw. Attack 100%, damage 0%. Chansu chuckled. You're too cute for this world. When he looked back, the goddess's glow had grown even stronger. Her energy radiated warmth through the entire clearing. She's recovering faster than I imagined, Chansu thought, though a mischievous grin hinted his thoughts weren't entirely pure. The goddess then pointed upward, toward the towering tree. You want me to lift you up there? He asked. Carefully, he cradled her in his hands and climbed. At her signal, he placed his palm against the bark. A system prompt appeared. You can use a skill. Tip, consume all points. Without hesitation, he activated Blessing of Plenty. A burst of vibrant green light surrounded them. The air hummed with life as Chansu poured every point he had earned into the skill. Moments later, the once barren tree transformed, its branches heavy with enormous glowing apples. Chansu's jaw dropped. This is insane. He picked one of the giant apples, marveling at its size and color. I've never seen anything like this on Earth. Before taking a bite, he knelt and offered it to the goddess. The first harvest belongs to you. The ginseng joyfully chomped down the apple, finishing it in seconds. You already finished it? Chansu muttered, both impressed and terrified. Hamdal jumped up and down, demanding his share. Soon, all three of them were munching on apples under the glowing tree. The fruit was unbelievably sweet, and for a moment, Chansu forgot his worries. But deep down, the thought of his decapitation skill lingered like a shadow. Why would a goddess of abundance give such a violent gift? He whispered to himself. Meanwhile, the goddess, Giselle, watched him quietly, wondering who this boy really was. In just one day, he had hunted monsters, revived her tree, and created a harvest. She couldn't help but think, maybe fate had chosen him for a reason. A flashback revealed the tragic history of her faction. Once the rulers of food and agriculture, the Abundance clan had thrived until corruption and war forced them to abandon their fields. They turned to monster hunting, but they weren't warriors. One by one, they fell. Desperation had twisted their sacred skill harvest into beheading, a hollow echo of its former grace. Back in the present, Chansu asked shyly, can I pick more apples? The goddess, still trembling from the memory of battle, nodded cautiously. He climbed again, gathering more fruit. As she watched him, Giselle's heart softened. Maybe this boy was sent to me for a reason, she thought. He's mine now, and I won't let anyone take him away. When he came down, she clung to his leg, hugging him tightly. Chansu froze, nervously chuckling. Please don't absorb me. They returned to their resting spot, arms full of apples. The goddess fell asleep in his hands, exhausted from the day's events. Chansu gently laid her down, covering her with a broad leaf. You worked hard today, he whispered. A thunderclap boomed suddenly, shaking the sky. Chansu jumped, shielding the goddess from the noise. His stomach growled in protest. Apples alone weren't enough. Then, a system alert blinked before his eyes. Delivery event activated. Chansu blinked in disbelief. Delivery? From Earth? Here? How will it even find me? He sighed, too tired to care. Guess I'll figure it out tomorrow. As the wind settled and the goddess slept peacefully beneath her leafy blanket, Chansu finally smiled. For the first time in a long while, he felt like he belonged. The scene shifts to the Temple of Circulation, where chaos brews. A furious young woman, Hyesujin, the Apostle of Circulation, storms into her senior's office, slamming the door open. Her senior jumps in shock. Sujin? Why aren't you handling the delivery? She explodes, accusing him of mocking her. You sent me on a 2-night, 3-day trip to a restricted zone. For what? We're broke. Free shipping's killing us, and Chansu's living off apples. Her senior nervously tries to calm her down. insisting she's done nothing wrong. "It's not your fault," he says gently. "You just work too hard. Take a break. Call it a business trip. If you stay, you'll just bury yourself in more work." Sujin crosses her arms, glaring. "Admit it. No one else wanted to go, did they?" He laughs, turning away. "You caught me. But who knows? Maybe you'll find a hidden realm, some rare block with special effects." She scoffs. "Yeah, right. Probably just get frostbite." He waves her off with a grin. "Safe travels, Sujin. Maybe something good will drop while you're gone." Reluctantly, Sujin sighs, muttering, "Fine, I'll go." Her eyes drift to a massive order list. "Why is it so long?" she groans, but determination flickers in her eyes. "Even if this trip's pointless," she says under her breath, "I'm not backing down." And with that, Hyosujin sets off, unknowingly stepping closer to a world far beyond her imagination.